What's up, y'all? We back once again. We're going to dive a little bit deeper. Today we're going back to the island of Haiti so we could explore some of the old documents, primary sources, explore the archives, and we could see where the manipulation is taking place, the paper genocide. All right, so if we look at this this photo that I have, we could see it says the African Maroon activity, but we know better that they were not called Africans. That was not a term even being used at that particular period of time. Okay, when we see the archives, which I would show some of them, you would see Negro, if anything, Maroons, but no African. This is our projection back to call them Africans, which is the paper genocide. Okay, and if we take a look, we could see that they had large territories versus the Spaniards. Because remember, the French didn't get there yet. The French pull up in the 1600s. Okay, the French pirates pull up in the 1600s. So the 1500s, this is just the Spaniards. Okay, if we pay attention to the timeline, we remember Columbus allegedly got there 1492. They tried a settlement on the north side. It got destroyed. They tried another settlement on the north side again. It got destroyed. Then they went around to the bottom to modern day Santo Domingo now. And that was the settlement that they established in 1494. Okay, 1494, 6 years before 1500. Okay, and when we see that the Maroons dominated, we have 1520 to 1550s, then they have the 1570s to the 1610s. So the entirety of the 1500s were dominated by Maroons. Okay, the vast area was Maroons. Okay, like I said, the French pirates did not get there as yet, till the 1600s. Okay, so all of this is Maroon territory. Okay, and like I said before in the first episode, that the Spaniards would not leave their settlements or their plantations without a large envoy, a well-armed large envoy, because they were concerned about the raids. They would get raided. So now I have a manuscript. Okay, if we pay attention to this manuscript and we read, this is a letter to Prince Philip of Spain. Okay, and the year that they have here is 1545. Okay, if we take a look, just skimming through it, Santo Domingo, the prince approved the selling to the city of 18 black slaves owned by the crown, and the sending of a military squad to fight two groups of Maroons roaming in La Española. Both occurred the year before, recommended the issue of ordinances regulating the treatment of slaves by masters, and okayed a local discussion about freeing or deporting Ladino or Creole enslaved blacks due to their fixation with obtaining liberty and their inclination to incite non-Latino slaves to rebel for it. Okay, that's deep. Now let's pay attention. This is 1545. Okay, I'm gonna skip past that one. I want to get to another document here, okay? 1545, April 24th, okay? A report has presented to me that in that island, there are many rebelled blacks in so much quantity that the denizens of La Vega or Puerto de Plata or Santiago do not dare go out of their houses to visit farms unless in squads. Remember, like I said, this is 1545 in a letter. They won't dare do it, okay? Unless in squads, and that the miners get together to sleep in shifts of 8 with their spears in their hands for fear of the said blacks, and that Samania they have killed Indias of Paravia and taken away a lot of his people, and that to Francisco de Avila they wounded a Christian of his, and they took a black male and a black female. Sounds like they freeing their brothers and sisters. Okay, you pull up to your area, you kill a Christian, you take a black and why you didn't kill the black and black man and the black woman? Because they're freeing their people from enslavement. This is what's going on. It's clear. And a female, and that on the road to La Yaguana or La Yaguana near Saint John de la Maguana are wandering. Many have said crossed out Indians, blacks, and they have killed Christians every day. And that there's so many of the said uprisen blacks that in certain lagoons that are on the coast of Samania, on the northern part. Listen, we could already see what it is, because I want to save some time to really get deep into this. So if you pay attention, like I said before, these Spaniards knew better than to leave their houses to go to the plantation unless they were in large envoys, well armed, because they were constantly getting raided by these Maroons. So these are letters that are being wrote in 1545, couple decades after they just arrived and established their settlement. Let's be clear about that. Let's go back to the timeline that I had in episode 1. Remember, they got permission from Ferdinand and Isabella to practice their slavery. Okay, 1503 allegedly African slaves. 1510 the first ship had 250 slaves. This is 1510. Let's pay attention to what's going on in the manuscripts and the primary sources. All this territory of Maroons, okay? And in 1510, 250 allegedly African slaves are brought in. In 1516, the first sugar mill, okay? By 1522, like I said, there was already a revolt. In the first episode, I also said 1530, the Spaniards could not travel outside the plantations in large armed groups, and you see it firsthand in the manuscript. Okay, so how is this possible? How is it that in 1510, with all of this Maroon territory, that you bring in 250 slaves allegedly from Africa? And there's all of this Maroon territory. Who are these Maroons? Where did they come from? Okay, how do they look? Why are they freeing the black slaves that you have? That most likely, like we said before, you probably took from another island. You understand what I'm saying? You probably took them from Cuba or Puerto Rico or something. The indigenous people that were there, and now you're bringing them over to the Dominican Republic, as you call it now, or Haiti. You understand what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Let's understand this. So 250 in 1510. But yet there's all of this Maroon territory. How do they multiply and make this happen? And now on top of that, these generals and whatnot are writing back to Spain. And they're essentially saying, listen, there's so many of these blacks. There are many blacks. These are their words. There are many blacks. They're coming here. They're killing the Christians. The white Christians. They're killing them. You understand what I'm saying? And, there's a mix of people that they usually bring with them because they bring in slaves. So they probably bring in slaves from other islands. They have other so-called Indians and whatnot. Because like we said in the last episode, Indian is essentially conquered people. So you're bringing these people with you, and they're literally coming and raiding your settlement. And remember, they destroyed two, like I said before, they destroyed 2 settlements on the northern part of the island. So these people have to be organized. They have to be organized. So they destroyed two settlements. Then you start up another settlement at the southern part of the island, and they're raiding that settlement, and they're killing people daily. This is what the letters are saying. Every day they're killing Christians. Okay? And then they're literally kidnapping their kin, those that look like them. You understand what I'm saying? So they are well aware of the racist intentions of the settlers, the so-called settlers, the invaders. They're well aware of what's going on. These are not idiots. These are intelligent people who are aware of the enslavement that is going on the island. You understand what I'm saying? So this is deep. For me, this is deep. And they controlled all of this area for the entire 1500s. So where do you get, first of all, it wouldn't even make sense with all of this going on, all of these letters being written to Spain, all of this raiding and destruction. Who in their right mind is going to say, you know what, let's bring millions more. Let's bring a lot more Africans over here. We need more black people so that they can, come over here and get kidnapped by the blacks that are already here. And they can increase their numbers and kill us more. That's a bad business move. It doesn't make any sense. So if we use our brain, if we use our heart, if we really just use our common sense, we can see, okay, this has to been some paper genocide that's going on here, because they have mass numbers, they're well organized, and they controlled a large area of the island. Okay, so there's definitely some big manipulation here. So we can see what's going on. You understand? And it makes sense to me, like I said before as well. This is why they may have needed foreign slaves that they captured. Some people that they manipulated who were maybe not familiar with the land, maybe from another island, maybe from the mainland, wherever it is, to go with their program, because none of the people on the island already was with it. This is what's clear. So that's one thing we could understand. They would have brought their own. You understand? I don't believe that they went across the Atlantic and they would have to war with those people as well. We have to stop empowering the European as this great conqueror that goes to a place and the people are just idiots and they fall for their tricks. A lot of time they have to do a huge, big deception, and they have to do kidnapping and broken treaties and manipulation, and there's still revolts, there's still rebellion, because the people are intelligent. They know that you're full of crap. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, so this is why they would have to bring their own. And even when they brought their own, the intelligent people of the island were aware enough to say, yeah, okay, look at what they doing to the people that look like us. Let's run up in there. We gonna get them later tonight. Do you understand what I'm saying? So to me, it's deep, and then something came from me to me while I was looking through this stuff and I was meditating on it. I got a download. I've never seen this anywhere before. Please tell me if somebody else has this information online. But maroon, when you look at the etymology of maroon, it's a color. It's a French term for reddish brown. I'm originally from the Caribbean. There was so many. There's the vast amount. The majority of people are reddish brown. Okay. So just like how even to this day we have songs like Brown Skin Girl. And we could look at it, even the tone, the copper tone, when we talk about in the mainland in the United States of America, when they in the dictionary that in those earlier periods of times, and they describe American, they said the copper toned original people. Copper is a reddish brown. Okay, so this could be another term of just like how we have to this day. History always repeats itself. So just like how we would call ourselves maybe brown people, and a lot of us, we just adapt black as well. We'll take that too. But none of us are actually black. This is why I wear a lot of black, so you can see the difference between black and brown and reddish brown. So, but a lot of us aren't actually black. So a better description, if you want to describe the people, and remember, this is coming from foreigners who cannot speak the language, who do not understand the culture, the different tribes and whatnot. So they will have to describe you by how you look. Okay, so black could also be a term like negro, like how we use today. But if we were more exact, we would call ourselves brown. Brown skin girl. You understand? So both terms can be used to describe the same people. So now we take this this knowledge back to those period of time, they might have been calling them Negro or Negro when they're speaking to each other. As it could be disrespectful, it could be normalized, whatever it is. They're Negro, they're black people. But these people, if you were to better describe them, they would be maroon, reddish brown. So let's really put that into perspective. I got that downloaded and I'm like, no, that's deep. That's deep. The Maroons, we are the Maroons. We are the Maroons. And if you look at the timeline, let's jump back into Haiti again. If you look at the timeline, the French did not get there to the 1600s. The pirates were coming from the north and they saw cows, and they noticed, listen, we could make a little profit from the cows, the hides, we could sell leather, we could cook them some food. And the natives were already doing what they call I think they call it barbacoa. I don't want to say the word wrong, but this is where we get the term barbecue from. You understand what I'm saying? So the French pirates, they started occupying and settling in certain parts of the island, and they started doing barbecue and selling leather and using those cows that were running straight. The same cows that got there from the original Spaniards who got their settlements destroyed. And this is how you get the French part. They work the treaty, like I said before as well. The Europeans always figure out a way how to work a treaty with each other. They're in cahoots with each other. They made war. Okay, they may war at certain times over territory, but they always find a way to actually have a treaty, and they uphold that treaty much better than they do when they have treaties with us. They double cross us every time, but they may hold up a treaty with their European brothers and sisters. So it's not until the 1600s, well into the 1600s, that we start getting French in there, and even numbers of French, because initially, of course, if they'll have some pirates and they create a settlement, it might be a couple hundred, then grow to a couple thousand. But it took a long period of time for them to actually get some French, actual numbers of French in there. So this is when we start getting the division of Santo Domingo and Saint Domingue. And these Maroons were already there. So let's think about that here. What makes more sense if we analyze it and we study the ways of the European and what they have done throughout history? What makes more sense? That they somehow wiped out all of these Maroons who were already there, and they held down a lot of territory, and they were causing a lot of trouble and leading a lot of rebellions. They just wiped out all of them. With the amount of people that they had, they wiped out all of them. Past the letters that we've seen, everything that we observed, they wiped out all of them, or the vast majority of them. And then in a short period of time, in the 1600s remember, in the 1700s, we already got the Haitian Revolution. So in maybe 100 years after they wiped out all of them, they got millions of blacks from Africa to come take their place. Does that make sense? Or, like we know, there's a paper genocide and there's a civilization of the people. They civilized the people. So throughout the time, they would pass certain laws. They would make certain things illegal. You can't play the drum. You can't speak this language anymore. You must speak English. You must speak Spanish. You must speak French, whatever it is. Throughout the period of time, okay, this is how you make money. This is illegal. You can't trade anymore. This is how we trade. You understand? This is where you go to school. This is what you do. And throughout a period of time, generation after another generation after another generation, you now identify as black or Negro. You're no longer the indigenous tribe that you were. And those who maintain the Maroon or the Maroonish, just like in the island of Jamaica, are those who just like, I'm not dealing with their civilization. And to this day, we still have that. We still have Maroons to this day. We still have the Rasta man that's like, yo, burn out Babylon. For those of us who are on another level of consciousness where we decide to just separate ourselves. But a lot of us believe that, yo, all right, you know what, maybe we could partake with this, just as we do today. I go to work as well, too. A lot of us, we're surrounded by it and we partake in it. And this is what, from my perception, this is what hits when it hits the fan in the 1700s, when they realized, okay, the landowners are all in France and they're all white, and now we're here fighting over scraps with the mulattoes and the blacks, and they control the land. They're getting it. What is going on here? And this is when you get people waking up and doing rebellions and revolts and whatnot. But these are the indigenous people. This is the only thing that makes sense, people. Talk to me. How are you eradicating them? And then we can see a lie already, because I forgot the exact year, but I think it was maybe 1545. I'm not sure exactly, but they declared 1565. They declared them extinct. How could they be extinct in 1565 when we see primary documents that show that they were Maroon territory, vast majority of the island, Maroon territory? How could they be extinct? So that's a clear lie. We already caught them in a lie. We catch them in many lies, but that's a huge lie to say that they're extinct. So like I said before in the last episode, extinct must have meant that they're quelling the fire, because now remember, they are catching, there's military, so they're bringing in their military to fight against the Maroon military, and they may catch a leader of the Maroon military and execute him on a public square, cut off his head, burn a woman. You understand what I'm saying? So they are doing the most egregious acts on the island to scare the people and to quell their rebellious energy. So the only thing that makes sense to me is that when they say 1565 that they are extinct, is because the fire has been extinguished. Not that they have killed all the people, that they are all dead like dinosaurs. It does not make sense, and it does not go with the primary sources that we could see. You understand what I'm saying? So after they quell the rebellious spirit, then you can start civilizing and indoctrinating these people into your religion, into your government. And then, of course, every couple generations, we wake back up, because the young ones come with a new energy, and the old ones are supposed to give them the knowledge. And they come back and they say, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Something ain't right with that. Why are we doing this? We got to fight back. And this is how you get more and more revolutions. But if we look at the timeline, we pay attention to what's going on, it's clear as day that there's paper genocide that's going on. Shout out to the Maroons, baby, the reddish brown people. To this day, we're here. We just got to wake up, y'all. I'm going to stop it at that. I don't want to go too long, because like I said, we going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. Tell me that's not deep, y'all. But we going to dive a little bit deeper, because like I said, we have to go to the source so we could prove this. The truth is always going to be true. These are things we know, but they have to teach us something different. And if we want to wake up to our consciousness, to our true reality, we got to unlearn the lies that they told us and really study and go within. And it's all going to make sense. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Blessings.